Do you want to introduce yourselves? Francis, do you want to go first?
Of course. I am playing Francis Gay Sparrowhawk, a gentleman perhaps in his early 50s or so. Straggly greying and thinning hair, wearing, may once have been finery, but has now lost its sheen and been trampled into the dirt, many holes and such, alluding to the fact he was once someone of at least a little bit of import, but has fallen onto harder ways. Like I said, I used to be an academic, but fell out of favour with many of his peers due to his rather esoteric theories on other worlds and other planes of existence, which eventually led him to the cult that we're all members of. So he's particularly good at mystical abilities, and he's somewhat studious as well.
Do you want to say something about the cult?
The cult is great. The cult is mother, the cult is father. The Cantorian set.
I think we need a cult jingle.
Culting. I'll leave that to you. Nothing too cheery, but it doesn't have to be too dreary either. So the Cantorian set worship a group of beings which have a great many names, some of which are unpronounceable. The Latharalasis, the Elder Things, many other names. But they're also purveyors of knowledge and both seek and bestow knowledge upon their worshippers, but not very much is known about them. But like I say, the cult does look to improve its people's lives, particularly against the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, who are materialists, who don't believe, well, not that they don't believe in the spiritual world, but they refute the spiritual world and want nothing to do with the sort of spiritual other dimensions, whereas we are quite the opposite, quite open to seeking escape from the drudgery of Duskville through other dimensions.
Speak for yourself.
All right, Spencer, what are you about?
Well, the character I'm playing is a gambler. He likes to think of himself as a businessman, good tinkerer and alchemist. He's known as Pants from Duskville, from Char Hollow, actually. He has a dream in life, which is to open a big business. And this big business will be basically on providing gangs with shadows, because shadow is the most expensive, is most valuable thing in the life of a thief. And so he really would like to steal your shadow and sell it to you. That's his dream. So basically, he just joined the cult because maybe some esoteric knowledge would be good for him to know how to steal shadows to others.
And Sterling.
Sterling de Wendell, be a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My friends and my enemies alike call me Fast Carriage by name, and you'd be better to remember it. I may have a tatty eel skin cloak, but they're thick with knives, so don't you be getting on the wrong side of my shiv. I've been living in these here streets as long as I can remember, part of the dark alleys. Grown up a right little mucker, I did. My father was a noble back in the day, but he lost his fortune. Luckily, and Mr. Joseph Twinkler, a real gentleman, did keep his courtesy over my head like, and I owe him a great deal for the future. He's still a mentor to me for this day. My brother, the Scatwallion, left me for dead when I was just a wee little munchkin. His gang beat me up right and proper, but I vow to find him and get him as dead as the eels at the bottom of the lake. I am into the spirits, I dabble, and I've got a speciality knife hat, which if you've been messing with me, I'll send ghost energy through it and chop you up as quick as you like.
Okay. And you also, your base is in a burnt out library.
A long abandoned library, yes.
So on a typical day, what would you guys be doing?
Well, I was just speaking with Francis. He just proposed me to come into this cult. And I think, yeah, why not, mate? It seems like a good opportunity. And
sell your soul very easily, sir.
Yeah, it's fine, mate. I need some more occult knowledge, because of my project. So
Yeah. We
Would be like
have
a
an
good.
extensive library, slightly parched, but still an extensive library. And yeah, it's knowledge of shadows. It's potentially something our gods can help us with.
What's their initiation ceremony? What shit did I have to put
Ooh, I don't want anything about any initiation ceremony, man.
You've got to have an initiation ceremony, otherwise you can't get the bonuses for being in the cult. That's kind of
Oh,
part of it.
The initiation is a 7-hour-long maths exam.
what?
I just
that's
stand my answers.
You also have to take some drugs before you do the exam, just to make it a little bit more interesting. That's
Man,
psychedelic.
I don't usually do drugs because I like to be in control of my mind.
You can take laxatives instead.
You're talking, and at the front desk, if you remember, it's like coloured black with soot, isn't it? And you haven't really tidied up that much from the fire since the fire.
A cheeky young lad steps through the shell of the door, smartly dressed in a dispatch officer's hat and jacket. With a cheeky smile says, "Is this the old library?"
It's an old library.
He looks around at the burnt ribs of shelves lined with charred remains of books. "It looks like the inside of my Mars oven, mister. I've a missive here for Professor Francis Gay Sparrowhawk."
Let's have a look.
Is that you, sir?
Depends what the letter says.
He's like, I've been instructed only to give it to Mr. Sparrowhawk.
Oh, very well.
It's a bill to pay. It's a bill to pay. You need to sign for it.
He hands you a small letter.
Tip him a tuppence.
He doffs his cap, snaps his heels, does a brisk circuit of the blackened hall, inquisitively peering up through the gutted rafters and patchy ceiling, and leaves. You're left holding the letter. Examining it with suspicion as it may contain a bill, you note from the postmarks that it's done the circuit of the Dusk Foal sorting offices. It's been dropped, stamped on, and used as a coaster. The Dusk Foal Post Administration is usually ruthlessly efficient. The address is written in a shaky cursive, but plain enough. Tearing open the envelope, you scan the short letter, and are surprised to see it's dated 3 days ago. It reads, "Dear Professor Sparrowhawk, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ryan Brogan. I am a great admirer of your work. I have studied your academic treatise on applied mathematics, probability, and spiritual matrices with admiration.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, my home has been suffering under a cloud that I believe only you have the expertise to resolve. I have attempted to contact you via the university for some months now without success. I have since fallen gravely ill and have taken to my bed. Unable to lift this curse myself with my limited understanding in the field, I was resigned to my fate. It was with unusual happy chance then that I was visited by a mutual friend come to lift my spirits. Miss Hawthorne, of Hawthorne Maps and Charts, Fox Lane, informed me that they had your assistance in resolving a matter with great success, and she gave me your new address. If you are willing to help another poor soul, please do not delay in coming to my residence at 13 Sunken Lane. It is signed Ryan Brogan, Defender of the Fleet. You cursed the 3-day delay."
13 Sunken Lane. Well, I'm not sure if this is a trap, so I better take some boys with me, I think. Sterling? Pence? How do you fancy a little outing?
And you set off for Sunken Lane. Is in the Six Towers, and you make your way across Taylor's Bridge into the Six Towers.
There used to be the nice quarter, but has since fallen into disrepair. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So we're sort of swaggering around going, ooh, because this is dead posh for us.
It certainly is a richer area, but it's long been neglected, and there's a lot of dilapidation. Indeed, as you turn down the sunken street, it's named that because it is indeed half underwater. The water's brimming to the top of your boots.
I'm guessing the water isn't very clean, right? This is water from the river.
What a stench.
It's all kind of ink black water. Don't forget the sun rarely shows its its unhappy face, and so water always looks black and uninviting and cold.
Is it tasty?
Don't taste the water, Sterling.
Bend down and drink some.
I've
I don't know. Ask to that corpse over there with his face in the sewer.
That's the residence. Below it, there's a sloshing water, and it's on these metallic stilts. You can see it resembles the architecture of a pier somewhat.
Okay.
So it's on stilts. You can see that it's sloshing water underneath it, corroded stilts, a gangway leading up to metallic door, copper green, pier-like in its structure. Look at the door, or do you want to go to the servants' quarters, servants' entrance?
No, we'll knock on the front door.
The front door is in the style of a hermetically sealed ship bulkhead. You tug on the call bell, and the door hisses open to a miserable-looking maid. You introduce yourselves. She has been instructed to bring you directly to Lady Jane Brogan. Through the metal entrance, the nautical theme continues inside. The house is decked with brass fittings and exotic furnishings. It has the look of a private cabin of a well-travelled naval officer, all ship-shape and Bristol fashion. You note the curtains are drawn and the artificial lights burn low. Curiously, the mirrors have all been covered with black velvet and draped with wreaths of flowers that smell of forget-me-nots, foxgloves, and wild garlic. You are announced to Lady Jane Brogan in the morning room. Its wide porthole windows have their curtains drawn here too, lending it a mournful, dark aspect. Lady Jane Brogan is a beautiful young lady, blonde, elegantly dressed. Her hand is pressed to her brow in a distressed fashion, and her other arm is in a sling.
Oh dear.
Her hair is somewhat disordered and has been hastily pinned. A single golden curl hangs by her tear-stained cheek. Professor Sparrowhawk, thank you for this visit, but I fear you have come too late.
Well, we came as soon as we received the letter from your husband, I assume?
My brother, Ryan, has passed.
Oh dear.
Jane suddenly jumps up and decisively strides across the room to the door, opens it and peers outside. You fear she has been taken by a paranoid hysteria, and she says, "My domestics do not know the truth of the matter, and it is vital that we keep them ignorant for their own good. Perhaps all is not lost, and Ryan's final gambit can be tried. Let me tell you why my brother called you here. My brother held a post on a Leviathan ship.
Hard work.
He was a brave man, thoughtful, kind, and spirited. He was interested in all the sciences. She crosses the room and retrieves a slim green volume from a bookshelf. She passes you the book. Here, Professor. You recognize it as a well-thumbed copy of your book.
Did you write books, Francis?
Well, this is a copy of my thesis. This is why I got kicked out of the university, actually.
It's
All
called
right.
Curses, Luck, and Bayesian Theory. And
Full of words.
Words. It's the maths that are really important, the words, but...
I didn't even know you could write, Francis.
Didn't know I could write something.
you're held up in a library.
Oh,
I think you only read.
She shows you this book as evidence of her brother's kindred spirit. Ryan spoke highly of your idea, sir. On return from his latest expedition, he had contracted some fiendish disease. The whole house was befelled by such terrible luck and coincidences of misfortune that you would not believe. She catalogues how everything went wrong. Every stock and share we had invested in crashed. Every endeavour we would end in disaster. As she is explaining this, you hear a crash from the kitchen and muffled expletives from the maid. I fear this is the last of our crockery.
that's a crock of shit.
Is that what happened to your arm?
I was thrown from my goat while riding. The goat was spooked by a snake, and the snake turned out to be a green length of rope. My brother suspected that it was not simple bad luck, but a curse upon this house. At this time my brother became deathly ill. Resigned to death, he promised to aid me from beyond. It was a dangerous plan, as it involved defying the Spirit Warden's decree that the dead must be surrendered for processing in Bellwether Tower. If we could delay the Spirit Wardens, my brother swore to return in spirit and identify the root of this evil from the land of the dead.
Have they collected his body?
They have not. Ryan had knowledge of many things on his travels. He explained to me a technique to delay the spirit crows, masking the dead's presence with wreaths and shrouded mirrors. If the body can be preserved for 3 days, the spirit has time to evacuate and manifest itself. She beckons you into the next gloomy room. As she says, my brother is laid out in the next room.
I tapped Francis' shoulder and I said, I don't want to have anything to do about bad luck. I'd rather go out. You can tell me things after.
But you may learn how to turn your luck, which is what this whole endeavor is about. As a gambler, you may find it useful. You do gamble, don't you?
No, I never do gamble. What you talking about? What you talking about?
I don't think I
The
forgot.
door anyway, she opens it and you can see within is a dark room with a shrouded body laying out in state on the table. She says, gentlemen, we are pressed for time.
Why are we pressed for time?
Why am I doing this?
As I've broken the law by keeping the death of my brother secret, the servants had no knowledge of the crime. Unfortunately, I must have forgotten to lock his bedroom door after making a show of taking him his supper last night. This morning, my maid, Clara, took my brother his breakfast and discovered the body. She woke the house with her cries, and I was forced to send to the tower to request the spirit wardens collect the body.
Of course.
I have delayed as long as I could, but my brother's spirit has made no contact. I fear this ruse was for nothing, and this morning I saw a spirit crow circle the house 3 times and land on our balcony. The wardens must be on their way, and could arrive at any moment. Please, if you are the maverick psychonaut my brother described, please apply your skills in this mission of mercy.
I see the urgency now. Is this the room he was most familiar with? Or which room in this house was he most connected to?
His bedroom is upstairs. We brought the body down here for the spirit wardens.
It's fine. The body is an extremely strong conduit. We should hold the seance here.
She goes, very well. If you can prepare, but I must clear away these herbs, or the spirit wardens will suspect us of the crime of hiding a body.
Don't forget the mirrors.
Amulets and things hung off doors and things like that.
If I may say,
Please.
madam, don't get rid of the herbs just yet. I would like to try something to shift the attention of the spirit people, whatever their name is, to the house next door. I have an idea.
Okay, great. She goes,
It would buy us some time if I pull out the trick.
Do you want to do that as a setup to help me with the seance?
Yeah.
Give me extra dice or extra effect?
Extra time.
Could I sort of set a trap at the front door that will ring a bell or something? If it gets...
well, the spirit wardens, they're an official group. They prevent, because their ghosts in this land are real, a body left for a couple of days its spirit will depart and it may become malevolent and start like attacking people and things. So they perform a service. They will ring the door. They won't just kick it in and grab the body. It's not like that. They're just extremely respected. Interrupting their duties endangers the city. So, you'd be hauled up in front of a judge if...
It may be like obstructing an ambulance crew or something like that, perhaps.
Yes, very much.
Do a setup action, say buying more time to give him more focus on what he's doing without, the pressure. And I can do that, try to set up in the alley next to the house a fake altar with all the like few mirrors and all the herbs and that cadaver that I was pointing out on the street before. And I will grab a few of the deceased clothes and I will do that.
Okay. The bloated body that you spotted. Do you want to make your roll then? What skill are you to.
I'm using tinkering, if that is okay with you, because I'm tinkering a situation to make some like a fake sort of altar that was perform a ritual that we're trying to perform right now, but in the alley next door or in the next door house, wherever.
Tinker's for fiddling with devices and mechanisms. This isn't really Tinker.
What will it be then?
Study,
Because I
maybe?
don't-
Study, possibly study, or possibly a tune. I would say be your best bets.
I will try study then.
It could also be prowl if you're trying to move a cadaver. I mean, that's not something you want to be doing openly, is it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I can give him a hand though. I can help lift the other end of the body, right? Otherwise, he's not like juggling a stiff down all by himself. I can take the feet. You can take the head.
So if you take a stress, Sterling, then that would give Pence an extra dice.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, 5 and I'm rolling, eh? 5 and
Otherwise, 5 and 3.
Yeah.
So you succeeded with a consequence.
Some days I can't get rid of a stiff.
Also, I didn't even tell you what the.
Oh, you have to get in the habit of doing that.
Yeah, I can't. Still new to us, isn't it? But
you have to get in the habit of asking, of telling us, and we have to get into the habit of asking.
Yes. So I'm just going to say risky standard, just because if I don't say it, then that's usually the thing that I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You get a point of corpse stench.
Ugh. Horrible.
So that's like level 1 damage.
Okay.
As you pick up this body, the skin slips off the bone because it's been in the water for some time. You yank it down, or rather kind of punt it down an alleyway close by, and stuff its already bloated form with these herbs and amulets.
Can I check his money? Can I check his pockets for money? Never have a stiff you don't rob. That's my motto.
Sure.
Sterling will be Sterling.
No, it's not. And in fact, you can take a measure of corpse rot as well.
Where do I put that?
Right, so on your damage, can you see your health?
On harm?
Yes.
Yeah, level 1.
Bottom, it's level 1.
Rot. General corpse rot.
You stuff your hand into his pockets and start frisking him in the rotting clothes. Your hands go through the rotten clothes, the rotten linen, and you dig right into his...
All I found is a bad case of the stink.
Yeah, you stink like death, both of you now.
Both of you can resist that if you want, by the way. You can always resist those effects if you want.
We can what?
Resist the effect.
Resist. Okay. Yeah, we'll try to resist that so that I learn the mechanics as well. To resist is...
I remembered that. But to resist...
then I'm leading this group.
Yes, however many little pips you've got in resolve down that side.
You have 2 pips.
The pips to the left of that line. Yeah?
Yeah, 2.
So you're going to get 6 stress minus the highest dice that you roll on 2 dice.
Yeah. I hope it's not a 1. Because I already had a trauma.
Did you get another
6! 6 and 1.
No stress from you.
Right, can I roll to resist the corpse rot as well?
Yeah.
Get back, General Corpse Rot. I want none of your guff. It's a 2. I rolled a 6.
So
that's as good as it gets.
Come inside. A bowl is brought to you with fragrant rose water. You
good.
And
that would buy us some time.
Into the street with a slosh over the balcony.
Ardiloo!
What's that smell? Oh, look at that! She points out the dead body. You can see standing on the banisters that were around the pier banister. that run round this house. A crow with white kind of bone round its eyes, like a flash of bone around its eyes.
Crow.
It's confused. It's like looking left and right. Lands on the corpse and starts pecking at the flesh. As it seems to catch a whiff of these herbs, it like takes a few hops back. You watch it as this thing looks confused at this dead body, and then it flies up into the air, starts circling around. You go back inside. Meanwhile, Francis.
Stay on with Lady Brogan.
We're outside. Just some quality time with Lady Brogan.
And a dead body.
Mind yourself. Brother.
Always look. Fucking hell.
The dead don't hear. The dead don't hear.
The dead do hear. The dead very much do hear.
Hopefully they will hear, otherwise this has all been for nothing. You're having a seance. You get one roll for just being, just doing things. You get one, it being daring. You're trying to outsmart the spirit wardens. You'll get one from Pence's
Set up.
Any more that we can think of?
We don't know if any of our rivals are involved because we don't really know what's going on.
I can tell you the spirit wardens are involved, so I'm taking one away just for that because they're a serious threat, a high tier serious threat.
Yeah.
Let me remind myself who the cult's enemies are.
Pardon?
I'm just reminding myself who the cult is enemies with, because we are enemy with the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, obviously. Oh, that's it at the moment. We brought out the Crawlers, which are the local gang in Night Market last week, so we're okay with them.
And we'll see where we start.
We're friends with the Blue Coats. I don't know if that counts for anything.
We are starting controlled. You feel that Pence's skills have bought you some time. So, this seance then.
Please be seated. Are you gentlemen going to join us, Sterling, Pence? You may if you wish.
Fine. I'm fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm holding it.
They really want to. I think they're mucking about with the dead body while you're doing this anyway, really.
I was going to say, I'm going to warn the Lady Brogan now that even though he was your brother, when he appears, he may not be as he was in life, and he may be quite terrifying. So please do brace yourself.
Can I brace her?
Okay.
No embracing Lady Brogan, please.
She says, brother, one last time. She says, like, perhaps that is the most I could ever wish for, above any luck, she says. So, this is controlled and standard.
And we're basically Laurel and Hardy in the alley with the corpse, aren't we?
Yeah, that's what you're doing at the moment. Francis, what do you want to add to this? Anything that any skills you've got?
I don't think so. I was tinkering with the idea of asking if we could bring it from a controlled to a risky endeavor in order to push it from a standard effect to a great effect.
Yes, you can.
So I guess that manifests. I'm trying not just to form a conduit with his spirit, but to form a very coherent conduit, so that his spirit's less likely to be insane, essentially. But it does mean I open myself up to potentially other spirits. Shall I take some? Why not? I will take some. This is probably the most important roll I'm going to make. I will take a little bit of stress, sweat my brow, and I'll make the roll. Just the 1-6.
That's enough. You close your eyes. Begin the seance, calling out the name of her brother.
Brian Rogan. To begin with, actually, it's asking her lots of questions about her brother and just getting her to tell little stories. And she might initially think I'm just being trivial, but it's actually part of the process of opening that door. Eventually, when I feel that the ambience is right, just get her to sit down at the table by the body and just hold her hands, forming a sort of for want of a better word, a spiritual connection. Of course, that's not actually how these energies work, but that's how people understand it. And then there's a little bit of chanting just under my breath, but mostly it's to do with me projecting my mind outward into the ghost echo, and just calling out this chap's name and trying to hone in on the echoes that I hear back, and ignoring all the insane chatter that is just a part of the background of the ghost field.
Looking for answers from the great beyond.
As to what you actually see, I don't know what I look like when I'm actually going through it. I don't know if my eyes go white or roll in the back of my head. I don't know.
You look blue.
Jane suddenly starts breathing heavily and shaking. And she looks around, startled. And she puts her hand on her brother's dead hand. She looks confused and looks up at you.
Who are you, sir?
Does Brian Brogan speak through me at this point?
Speaking through her.
Oh, I speak through her. Yeah. I say to him then, your plan has worked, although work is perhaps a generous term. You are dead, I am afraid. This here is your body.
He looks at it.
He goes, no, this is Jane. I see her laid out.
Ah, yes.
Looks like that.
The echoes of the spirit world are confusing. Rest assured, your sister is alive and well.
Yes.
Quick, we have little time. We must discuss important matters that you have solicited my help for. I am a Francis Gay Sparrowhawk, who you sought before.
He goes,
I remember that name. He goes, you are a learned gentleman. A guide.
Indeed, and I am here to guide you. Or rather, I'm here to encourage you to guide us. There is something you wanted us to see. There is something you wanted us to know. There is a reason you passed beyond the veil.
He goes, yes. Yes. There is something. There is something here. He goes, this whole house. He goes, but somewhere is its heart.
he stands up, paces the room, and then opens a door and walks out.
I'll follow him.
You follow him. He goes down a corridor, opens a second small door that below some stairs, and enters, crouching. These stairs spiral down into the kitchen.
I see them going out of the room, and I'm going to follow them to see what's going on.
Okay, you've just finished splashing the rose water on your face, and you see them walk out of the room and go down some stairs. From the kitchen, you go down once more, a short flight of steps, and come to a pantry, cold room.
Yep.
And in the middle, you can see a well. It's got a cover on top of it, a wooden slated cover. And he goes to it and puts his hands on it and looks down the well. Goes. He points.
It's a bit chilly. I agree.
What
It's
secrets are beyond it?
I implore you, Mr. Sparrowhawk. Good sir.
And she starts twisting her neck around like that, going into what looks to be an epileptic fit. Frothing at the mouth, she falls to the ground, starts freaking out.
Yeah, I better attend to
I'm gonna perform mouth-to-mouth respiration.
You dirty man. Come here.
I'm just joking. But I'm gonna check out if she's all right.
Just splash her face with some water.
Yeah, rose water.
You grab some water and throw it on her face and try to bring her to. Soaking now. Not in a top, in a skimpy top or anything like that. So get out of it, Pence.
So these Victorian clothes on
Whoever does it for defense.
corsets. Look at that.
Wet
You splash water on her face, and you rouse her up. She looks confused, and her voice has dropped a few octaves, and she seems herself again, although very confused and bewildered. She goes to
Where am I? Who are you?
she scuttles away from the well and goes, "Where am I? What happened?"
Who are you?
Sterling, prove yourself.
Sterling, you're only just joining from looking at. Remember, you went to look out the window, didn't you, with the maid and watch this spirit crow. And you're only just joining now, but you're all together now in the kitchen, or at the stairs leading into the pantry.
Okay, so madam, no worries. Something just happened, but now everything is fine, and we are to solve something, I suppose.
Does this still mean anything to you, Lady Brogan?
She says, "Pardon?"
This well, does it mean anything to you?
She looks at the well and says, "It is where we draw water. I'm really in this place." She says, looking around the pantry. Yeah, I'm below stairs.
I light my lantern and light up the inside of the well.
To be honest, they might have a lantern in this house. It's probably something available anyway.
Every house has a lantern.
Yeah.
To make a noise, like how deep does it sound?
Well, you're dropping something down, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to drop like a pebble down, or
You grab a piece of cheese.
yes. I'm very well versed in hearing cheese drop from a height. I know the characteristic.
The cheese dropping skills. Have you got that?
What sort of gap is it from drop to?
Not so much. I mean, it's outside. It's below the house, isn't it? The house is on stilts, and then there's water, isn't there?
Cheese flavoured water now.
Sterling, how about we lower you down the well and see if you can see anything?
I'll bring my lantern with me. Is there a bucket I can sit in?
There is a bucket.
Tally ho.
So you're lowered down, and you see the stilts of the house. They're rotted here and fractured in places. The steel's broken and twisted in, corroded away in places. Get to the surface of the water. You can see the other houses around here have kind of cramped in and made it like a chamber under the house. The blackness of the water. Far below, you can see twinkling, shifting, twisting starlight.
Ooh. Is that with my lantern on, or is that in the pitch blackness? I can see light coming through.
That's in the darkness of where your lantern isn't. You can see these twisting, sparkling lights.
I can see twisting, sparkling lights.
The chamber isn't huge. It's not massive far down. These stilts raise the house up above the water, but it.
The water is lovely. Come on down. The well's not huge.
They look down. They can just see your face going.
Hello, friends.
Can you actually step into the water without sinking too much?
You can swim, can't you, Sterling?
Not on my character sheet, so I'd say probably not. I never learned to swim. It wasn't a characteristic that got me away from knives.
Swimming really depends on the roles that you make. Whether you know how to swim. If you're called to make a swim and you fail your role, we can always blame it on the fact that you're not very good swimming. You see Jane Brogan. She says, "My brother has equipment."
Does he now?
Well, now.
Well,
Diving bell, perhaps?
cool.
He says, "Strange suits." He says they used it when they were clearing off the flukes and other creatures that would attach themselves to the ships.
Ah, yes.
Ooh,
Nautical suits. I've read about these. Interesting.
He's doing
very interesting.
I'm happy to be the sap in the suit, if need be.
I think it may be prudent for one person to stay above the waterline, perhaps.
Mate, we need you down there, I suppose.
Good idea. Supply the oxygen.
Yes. That was what I was thinking. We may also be able to rig a tube under the water so I can communicate with you. Lady Brogan, do you have anything of that description?
He says there are many tubes and ropes and pulleys and things in the storeroom.
Sounds like a
Storeroom. But that's one of my favorite rooms in the house. I prefer safes, but I'm not going to break into your safe.
Lots of ropes and
I would
pulleys.
rather that nothing went missing, sir.
No worries. Just show me the storeroom.
She's
Please forgive my colleague there, not used to play.
Mr. Sparrowhawk, who's a renowned, or at least was renowned
Academic.
not a bunch of thieves. So she's not really, she hasn't invited a bunch of thieves into the house. He has.
So,
I'm
Saying
not a
things
thief.
like, go, excuse me, will you get out of my house? That's the problem.
just steal things without her seeing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. You can always blame it on the maid, can't you? You pull Sterling back up and go to this room. You can see it's stuffed full of nautical things, lots of rope, and there is indeed.
Is there anything that looks like it might be valuable?
There's plenty of things valuable
We are
here,
not
Sterling.
stealing from this lovely lady.
But we're
Let's
not
just
stealing.
get this.
Stars and knickknacks she wouldn't notice.
Sterling, don't do that. Because
Yeah,
if you do that, I'm gonna do that.
What skills do we have? What skill? You got to explain to me what you're using.
Okay. I can use my tinkering skill. Have me and Sterling. There are like two different suits that we can use. We can use them for the same purpose, that is to go down into the water. And also, I want safe enough rope for the both of us and a pipe that we can connect to between me and Sterling, and between us and Francis, so to talk while and breathe.
Breathing's good.
Sterling, you're robbing stuff, or
Yeah, I'm looking around, see nothing major, just if there's any small knickknacks, like little bits of metal, things that look like they might be silver.
all right. Do you want to roll something for that, or?
Yeah, I'm going to roll. The only thing I've really got is either prowl or finesse, I guess.
Sterling, don't do that.
If you
I'm gonna do it.
Things that look like they won't be missed easily. And literally, I can just sort of sidle up while we're suiting up and just sort of slip them into my pocket with a sleight of hand.
Okay. So yeah, you can use finesse for that. On the sleight of hand side, you can use the study. Depending on which skill you use, will depend like kind of what you get. If you roll your study and roll well, then you're going to get something valuable. If you roll your finesse and roll well, you're going to get something that no one will notice. Do you see what I mean? There's different.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I've got no ticks in study. I've only got a tick in finesse. So
You can do study, but you roll 2 dice and choose the worst. So rather, if you've got 1 dice, it's 50-50 chance of success. Yeah. If you roll 2 dice and choose the lowest, it's like 25% chance of. Right.
yeah, I'm going to study. I'm going to use
Probability.
looking, investigating things.
Hold on. Sterling, if you really want to steal, let me have a look first. I'm gonna tell you what to steal.
Okay.
I'm gonna use study, and you use finesse.
Okay. Agreed.
What?
I'm gonna look
Give him a
around.
helping hand. If you want to take a stress, you can give him a hand and give him like you'll be pointing things out and things.
Yeah.
You can do that, but that's a stress. You're gonna have to take a stress for that.
Yeah. Fine.
Very cool.
Okay,
Thanks.
don't say fine without looking at your character sheet, because if I find
I know, because I have only one trauma and no stress,
okay, all right.
so it's fine.
So I'm still going to do study, but that gives me 3 dice then. So I still take the lowest.
No. You had 2 dice and choose the lowest, didn't you? So now you've just got 1 dice.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
And rather than choosing the lowest, you're just going to roll a dice and see.
Is it controlled or risky?
It is controlled with standard effect, I suppose. You've got time.
6. I rolled 1 6.
Hold on. You let me roll their tier. See what you get. You get you manage to pocket a medal that's in a frame here. You think, oh, that looks pretty great. You can see it's a medal with a shield on it.
Oh, look at that crystal! Look at that crystal! That looks great.
He's
What the medal? What did you do with the medal?
I am slightly forgiving you for using my coin last time, Pence.
Okay, the tinkering roll.
Is anybody going to give him a hand or anything like this?
I could do a setup roll maybe with study if I start to correlate what I'm seeing with the books I've read. And this tube obviously goes into this bit, so put it there. No, not that tube, that tube. And these ridges on this tube don't facilitate aerodynamic flow. You want the smooth inner tube for your breathing tube, you see. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a study roll for me. Controlled, risky, payoff.
It's risky.
Because if I get it wrong, they don't breathe.
Standard. Yeah.
So basically, we are discussing with Francis how to pump hair down the pipes that we found in order for being properly functional.
Yeah.
Because this is something that I know how to do anyway, but sometimes, there are like tweakings and problems into calculating things right.
Yeah. So how did Francis do with this?
A 6.
You got a 6?
Yep.
Great.
Rolling well today.
6s are coming out today.
Great. So you're going to get that's going to add to the effect of this roll for roll.
Yeah.
So +1.
+1 effect. So it's going to be risky, great effect.
Great breathing. We can.
I have only 2 dice, and we have rolled very well so far. That means that we are not going to roll well now.
Remember, you can take 2 stress to put more effort into it and get an extra dice.
That is not necessarily true.
2 stress is quite a lot, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a lot, but that's an option, just to remind people.
2 dice is like 75% chance of success, right? That's pretty good.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to roll.
Roll.
5 and 4.
Okay. So a 5 is a success with a consequence on risky. With great effect, though.
Yes. Oh, yes, I like the thinker.
I'm going to start a
Clock that says oxygen.
yeah, that says I can't breathe anymore. And you're going to get a tick in that. It's got three sections left.
One for going down, one for pissing about.
Examining the tubing, and it's like, give me some of that tape, and you put the tape over the holes that are inevitably find their way into these kinds of things, and you give a big tug on the rope as well. It seems well made, and I am willing, because I am so generous, with such a good roll
And a big heart.
and a big heart to upgrade your diving suits.
Okay, I had with me, I was light, and I had with me all my the tinkering gear, and
You don't tell me what you've got. You just say, "I've got light gear." That's just
yeah, I got light. Yeah, I got light.
Sterling.
I'll go light as well.
I don't see why I'm not going medium.
Okay. So, if you hadn't made your rolls, you'd have ended up skinny dipping. If you're willing to spend some armor points.
Ooh!
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the idea.
How many items is that? 2?
This is heavy armor. I think that's 5, isn't it? Heavy armor.
Is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You understand that means that you won't be carrying anything else. If you don't want to go
Oh, look.
heavy armor,
Yeah.
Normal armor, I think, is 2 pips, and then heavy armor is an additional 3 pips.
or you can have this at just armored if you want.
I'm gonna have that maybe. Let's do so.
That's 2, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go in heavy with 5.
Yeah, and bring a weapon with you. You never know.
That's the point. If he's got 5, that's all of his.
How am I supposed to handle a knife with that thing on? Go in light armor for 3 and carry a blade for 4. I hand you my blade.
Okay.
What's your skirmish?
I think you're the fighter, Sterling.
What's your skirmish?
That people don't talk like that. When was the last time someone walked up to you and said, "What's your intelligence block look like?"
Quite recently, actually. But
Really?
Yeah, I live that sort of life. Hence, do you think you can handle one of my
No,
blades?
I cannot handle a blade, so I'm gonna just take the light one.
We're building the fiction here.
Okay.
If you said, I want to go in just light, there'd have been two diving suits.
I would like to go in light with a blade.
Okay.
I'm gonna go light with nothing else.
There are harpoons and things like that here. 2 for
Also, you don't have to say that you're taking a blade with you.
Oh,
Just-
yeah, you do.
If it becomes relevant, you say, I brought a blade with me.
you drag all this stuff down to the well and start tying off the ropes and start getting the bellows. And you show Francis how to pump the bellows. And the lady calls the
This,
servant in.
this, like that.
She explains it to him as well. Says, "You must help these gentlemen. They're attempting to dive down and get to the root of our terrible luck." She says, "Of course I would help," and then looks at her arm. "If there's anything else I can do, gentlemen, perhaps I can help with this to guide the ropes."
No. You need to pay attention to the spirit wardens should they come. Prepare the body. Make sure no herbs or covered mirrors are there. Please be in easy reach, though, should I need your assistance.
She goes, "Good luck, gentlemen," and leaves you to the freezing cold. You start to don these crazy suits that you've heard of before, but neither of you have worn it, have you? Unless you've got a history of working on the boats.
Nope.
Okay, then. You get a safety rope as well. There's no such thing as pipes that connect two people. That's not a thing that exists.
So we can only communicate through gestures.
Francis explains, he says, yes, gestures. He says, but if you put your heads together, the vibrations of your voice will carry through the metal.
If we clank our heads together, then it will make a clanking noise and we can do Morse code. Clank, 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 clank.
You know Morse code, Sterling.
I know Morse code, of course.
You don the bronze shells and stretch out the umbilical cords and the safety rope.
Yeah,
Anything
one last thing, friends, before we go down. If we, how do you say, pull the rope 3 times, you have to drag us quickly.
Screaming.
Cross.
Preferably screaming.
These suits are extremely heavy while on land. Obviously, the rope of the bucket, which you've laden down with rocks, to like give you a guide rope. You know what I mean?
Grabbing the guide rope, score ahead and see what this light is about.
The bucket go and it kind of disappears into the darkness. The walls of this cave are made up of the foundations of the other houses around you. You've got these metal struts that also kind of help guide the way. You've got a lantern. That's one, isn't it? That's the load.
A light.
Yeah, well, I don't mind taking the lantern, but how does that work underwater?
Because it's one of those watertight lanterns, I guess. I don't know. It's powered by demon juice, isn't it? So it's got a.
Yeah, I'll take the lantern. I've got an extra tick for that.
And you start to descend. Obviously, the weights in your feet are actually pulling you down, as opposed to like forcing yourself down underwater with these suits. It's dark. It's horrible.
Pence, it's dark. Pence, it's horrible.
What do you say? Can't hear you. You twat. Can't hear you.
You're floating down. You're very close to each other. Obviously, I mean, you can see the light sweeping around, and you're just above him, kind of using this guide rope of the bucket, which is at its full length, to help lower yourselves down. After a period of just inky blackness, you start to see shining, glowing lights all around you.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
They're like stars in front of your eyes, just like
Fuck!
glittering around you.
Reach out and grab one.
You reach
Don't
out
do the.
and go to grab one. You as your hand closes on it, you can feel that it looks like a spinning galaxy. As your hand close to it, it starts to get very warm as your fingers start to grip on it.
Stop right there. Don't touch the lights.
How are you communicating this, Spence? How are you going to communicate this?
I'm gonna bang my head on his head, and I'm gonna stop.
You headbutt him as he's beginning to close his hand on one of these spinning galaxies.
Yeah.
You mind the dance moves for Stop Right There, Thank You Very Much by the Spice Girls. You go, stop right there, thank you very much. And then I get the message. That's our international.
Okay.
Anything to do with the Spice Girls is stop, just right there. And he seems to be telling you to stop, Spence. Sterling, but it's up to you. You can close your hand on this galaxy if you want.
I feel I might lose my hand if I do. I'm going to stop.
It feels warm even through the thick gloves that you've got.
Yeah, I'm not that stupid. Survived on the streets with some smarts until now.
This is a crazy world of upside downness, though. Mm-hmm. What are the stars doing underneath the water? You think to yourself.
Yeah. I think it's demon magic.
Could well be.
I'm going to try to use a tune.
Okay.
For a change. And to try to understand the meaning of this. And I don't know, this is more a study thing than an attune. So I will try to understand what's going on, to have a sort of spiritual insight of my surroundings.
And I shall assist.
What's that? How are you going to assist that?
Is there an area where there seems to be more of these galaxies and lights coming from?
Possibly, there might be, yes. But
right.
It's like, tell me how you're going to assist. Don't.
I mean, I would
questions, because if I tell you everything about it, then you say, well, we don't have to roll then, because he's obviously over here. I
would assist
by that roll then. Nothing to tell you because you've.
Yeah. I would assist by pointing out where I think there seems to be more of these lights coming from.
Okay, great.
Hmm.
That sounds like a good assist.
And I'm gonna take 2 stresses because I am stressed in this situation. So I want to focus and I want to understand the situation as better as I can.
Okay.
Best I can.
So that's 3 stress in total put on this roll. It is going to be a risky standard effect.
Okay. Oh, I'm rolling. And I have a 4 and a 2. Oh, sorry, 3 dice. So I'm going to roll the third one. 4, 2, and 1.
Okay. 4 is a success, though. That's good.
Have I helped now?
Yeah, you've helped. You point to where there seems to be a congregation of these galaxies swirling in like these stars, like almost swirling around a black hole, sinkhole effect.
Cool.
You point over
Wow.
there near one of these struts. Hence, you stare at it and try to use your new skills as an occultist. You see a flickering light. You can't make it out. It's too far away and too dark. So reach out like that for the metal strut and pull yourself closer. It's at that point that one of these flickering lights, a tendril-like effect, grabs you around the leg, pulls you in, starts dragging you in. As you get closer, you see the fullness of this thing. It's like a huge slug attached to one of these struts. One of its tendrils has grabbed you.
I unsheath my blade.
The way it's moving is like this. It's like a giant flute. They kind of flutter and kind of...
Okay. Fucking hell. And one is attached to me.
Yeah, grabbed you anyway. One of these kind of fluttering tendrils has wrapped around you, and you have suffered some damage from that. And the damage you have suffered, unlucky, at level 1. Unlucky.
I already had damage on level 1.
Okay, now they're both full. Can you see on the far right, it says something, does it? It says -1 effect.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is whenever you're rolling now, you get -1 effect because you're unlucky and because of whatever.
Or you can resist.
Or you can.
I'm going to try to resist with my resolve. Yeah, that's for sure.
So 6 minus?
-4.
Okay, so it's 2 stress and you don't get that damage. You don't get unlucky.
Well, sweet. I see a gap because we are feeling this stress like big time.
You feel like
unlucky,
basically. You just think, oh, this is the worst luck ever. I'm going to be killed by a creature from outer space, underwater space.
Okay, I want to play a flashback, if I may, so that we know what we are dealing with.
If I give him a massage down the well.
Francis, any other, and then you're going to get a flashback or what? It's going to be you.
The other ways I could think of doing it is, and I thought we did this anyway. I thought we rigged a tube, like a speaking tube.
Yeah, I said there's no such thing as that. That's not a part of.
Actually, speaking tube.
Yeah,
it's not a tube. It's just a tube, isn't it? It's an oxygen tube.
Yeah, but you'd involve drilling a hole in one of the masks and sticking the tube, and you don't really want to do that.
The other way I could think of, if you're using a tune, you could have not necessarily ghosts. I don't know if it's something like imps or some other kind of supernatural beings to run messages between people, but that's pretty desperate. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but
okay. This is what I'm saying to Pence here, is that's Dungeons and Dragons that you're thinking of. Okay, this is a flashback. So what with a flashback, you can say, Francis, okay, I remember some of my studies in this, your luck theory, your theory on curses, luck, and there are creatures that can have this effect, that bring unluck.
Oh, yeah, so this will be a study role for me then, won't it?
Yeah, and that's the flashback, and that helps.
Yeah, sweet.
And use that information to know where to fight this creature or know how to. You see?
Yeah.
I want to, in this way, I want to add, if I may, a role-playing aspect to my resisting to the unluck thing, because I mean, mate, I need luck. I mean, this is the thing I need the most. So no unlucky, no unlucky. Like, I'm gonna resist with all my whatever, with all my will. So that's how I resisted it.
Okay. As a
Well,
gambler.
I need a hero.
we shall see. I'll take a couple of stress to think this through. See that the problem is that there's two possible avenues of exploration down here. There is obviously the mathematics of stochastic calculus, which they may have perturbed somehow, creating some kind of Lorentz attractor to bad luck. Of course, and then there is also the more sort of the spiritual interpretations. There are various gods and deities that have been associated with fate throughout history. Of course, there's isn't there the three hags who are sewing and cutting and so on and so forth. So one of these two avenues, I'll have a little think about it. Which one?
Oh, I didn't say.
Oh.
It's controlled standard at the moment.
We've got a 6.
It occurs to you with the nautical history as well that there is such a creature that plagues ships and shipping called the luck fluke. If too many of these creatures attach themselves to a ship, it can become cursed, in fact. He's brought one of these back. Flukes. So they've got kind of like a spongy body.
Lampreys.
Yeah. You are able to describe possible kind of soft spots on their body.
They are spiritual beings, though, aren't they?
They are spiritual. That is why Pence actually found it, as opposed to it just looking like a black hole. He saw it in his,
My mind.
Sensed the magical aura of it, and but it is just sucking the luck out of the house, basically. If it can be detached, then with any luck, it can be scared off.
Why do we think we'll have any luck of removing it if we need luck?
Well, perhaps you haven't been infected. You haven't been there long enough to be.
My Lord Suckluck.
Pence just resisted it, didn't he?
Yeah. We're going to do that now that we know we can do. So I am going to try to speak with Sterling.
Being that can be killed with a weapon, is it? It's not like physical weapons do nothing, do they?
It can be. They are vulnerable to physical weapons. They are difficult to get off, especially if left for a long time. They will just continue to grow and suck the luck out of things. So this has been here for some time. It's a big one, basically. It's as big as wide as a settee, and kind of like that kind of spongy longness of a settee, if you know. And it's about 15 meters long, you would say.
Really is Lord Suckerluck, isn't it? Yeah.
Sterling, is your moment.
We are blindly kind of reaching out now.
I unsheath my blade, and I'd start slashing away at it with skirmish.
It's got twisting, rotating, grinding teeth. Twisting towards you, like reaching out for you and your buddy.
Yeah, I'm slashing away at that.
I'm going to give it some health. I'm going to give it 6,
Is that a lot? It's 6 more than you've got.
Probably harder than the boxer you fought.
Yeah, it's just big and kind of.
Pence, with your chemical ability, do you have any chance to, with a flashback, to make some underwater dynamite?
I think so. Yeah, you can.
If I didn't bring my knife, I could put demolition tools instead.
Demolition tools: a sledgehammer, and iron spikes, and a heavy drill crowbar.
It's too loud, though.
Crap. No, I don't want them. No, a knife is fine. Thank you very much.
Really, yeah, a sledgehammer that will do quite tasty on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it will do tasty.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. Right.
That's
I've got
2 though, right? And
that would be all of my slots. The armour, the lantern, and the demolition tools.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. I'll do that then.
Pence, you're trying to break the...
The metal bars. I was thinking about this action as something that facilitates or as a setup. So something that will allow you to fight and kill the being.
Well, then I'll save my action for actually having a swing at the thing itself then.
Okay, then. Do you want to roll then, Pence? You're wrecking.
Yeah, I'm wrecking. So I'm going to roll just one.
Okay. Wait. Let me tell you what it is. This is risky standard. You can put it up to desperate. Great, if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take stresses, so to root 2.
And you're taking stress?
Yeah.
2 stress. Okay. Desperate. Great effect then.
I have something to do with desperate actions. Let me see.
You get a tick of experience in the corresponding attribute.
Can you do that tick though, Pence? Otherwise you'll forget. Can you tick it for me, please?
Hold on. Sorry. And there you go. Done. And let me put my stresses on. Oh my God, I will have to gamble big time.
You're a gambler, man. That's what you do.
How much stress have you got left?
What about
I got 2 stresses left. 4 and 2.
With the lights like flashing everywhere and these galaxies glowing in the dark, you see a point in the pillar which is like corroded to something that you think you can probably bash through. Just above its maul. You get the bar and between these girders, stick the pipe in and start kind of levering it. It bends it free. It comes away from the other pillar. So it's bent out in like that angle. And the Fluke's kind of doing that, feeling about for you when it grabs you and grabs around your leg. Oh no, let's say it grabs around the rope, your safety rope, and gives it a yank. Francis, you see the
resist.
The guy upstairs go, whoa, like that, and nearly goes down the well himself. It's are you going to resist, Pence? I don't think you can you? If you
No, I can't resist.
You can try and resist, but if you don't roll a 5 or a 6, you're going to get a trauma.
I'm going to get another trauma.
Okay, so it breaks the rope out of his hand and it falls down plops into the water, and you go.
You got my rope.
Rift in the darkness, like, and swinging out into the blackness.
I smash with my hammer.
You go to give it a whack with your hammer.
I do.
Okay, so this is risky standard at the moment. If you want to do anything to manipulate that, as you
so
in the blackness.
I've got skirmish. Do I get an extra dice for the fact I'm using a weapon, using an item?
No.
No. Okay.
That just allows you. You could use skirmish by just wrestling it if you wanted to, but the results would be virtually 0. So having a weapon allows you to actually do physical damage to it.
Could I mock up my drill at the end of the hammer so that it's a drill hammer?
You could put the hammer on top of the drill, so as you turn the drill, the hammer went like this.
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Have like a.
That's not realistic.
Hammer drill attack.
You try and drill it though. That'll be quite fun.
Sterling, isn't your ability something to do with being able to fight ghosts or spiritual beings or something?
Yeah, I can endue weapons with spirit energy, and I get potency in combat versus the supernatural.
Ooh.
So these might count as supernatural. They're sort of semi-physical, semi-supernatural. I don't know. Maybe.
You're right. It is supernatural.
So can I endue my hammer with spiritual energy?
You can.
Good.
I'll let you have great effect on that then. Risky great effect at the moment.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm just going to roll for it then. Skirmish. 5 and a 2.
This thing grabs a hold of you with its rasping mouth. Feel it start ripping into your suit.
Oh, shit.
But you're close to it. You know you're.
Yeah, I go to resist with my prowess. I don't
Okay.
want. Like, I'm trying to bat it off my clothes. Prowess is 3. 6.
You're 6.
6, 2, 2.
You lucky duck.
Wah.
As it rafts around your body, you bat it away, and then give it a clout right in the mooey. Doesn't like that at all, and it releases itself from the bottom of the pillar that it was attached to. It goes and starts kind of doing a dance in the water. Turns once, dancing down into the blackness with a smashed mouth. It may well die, you think, with a mouth that smashed. Do you know what I mean? You can't see a way of it eating. Or
Poor monster. What have we done?
Pence,
Lord, buckle up.
Yeah.
No.
you're floating in the blackness. You can see lights above you, and
The galaxies.
the galaxies and the silhouette of your friend Sterling.
Uh-huh.
And then this Fluke thing swims past you, undulating,
Uh-huh.
dives down deep into the darkness. You can
They
see
have an attack of opportunity.
in front of your face, just like also spinning around like that. And also, along with this, as you watch this Fluke go, you see there is a sack down here in the water. It's
Yeah.
form like a sack, or can't tell if it's a giant egg or something, but
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it.
you swim towards it. You're being dragged down by your heavy shoes.
Yeah, I know it. So I'm gonna grab it, and then I'm gonna do my shoes and skedaddle.
You reach out for it. It's a sack. It's a Hessian sack.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it's undulating as if there's something trapped inside, kind of trying to kick its way out.
Uh-huh.
You grab the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you want to kick your shoes off, you're saying?
I can roll Tinker for it because I know how they work.
I think this is going to be a pretty desperate action.
Let's
Grounding.
hope I don't die. Okay. Ooh, 6-4.
Desperate tick on your prowess again. You kick your boots off. You weren't sure that you were going to be able to like get the fastenings off, but you did with some relief. Especially holding this sack, which is kicking and punching itself against you. Your legs are still watertight. Start swimming upwards once again. See the galaxies. You see Pence looking for you desperately. And he sees you swimming past him
Yes, Sterling.
in the gloom. Yeah, Sterling, sorry.
Okay, and I'm going to swim up.
You swim up.
Yeah.
Sterling, you can see he's carrying a bag with him, but he's swimming by himself. Fighting against the heaviness of the helmet.
My assistant was swimming up with the bag. Can I grab a part of the bag and then swim up with him? I don't
Yeah.
mind.
You get 3 yanks on the 3 yanks, wasn't it?
Yeah, I give the
Yeah.
3.
You're wondering why they haven't pulled you up. So you give it another one, and they
Yank!
start dragging you up, and you're able to like grab a hold of Pence. As you get to the top of the water, of course, though, everything becomes heavy again, and suddenly you weigh a ton, and you're wet, and you weigh a ton, and you've got wrecking gear with you, and everybody's like, Jesus, he didn't have that. He was going down. How did he get that?
I lay down my hammer. Hammer of justice. You have done well.
You're dragged onto the floor of the pantry.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of you.
You both came back. I mean, you're both back. Well done.
You've wanted to come back more.
Oh my God, I would never do this again.
Yeah, that was horrible, you think to yourselves. I wouldn't get back in that suit if you paid me all the money in the world, do you think?
Yeah.
What's in the sack?
I would never do this again. What is this? I dropped the sack, the bowl sack.
Any money in the world from this?
We need to explore the sack first. I take a peek in there.
Okay, let me show you what's in the sack.
They're not alive.
Sac magique.
I hope we got galaxies in that, because I need those.
Galaxies. You saw galaxies down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. And a trans-dimensional being. Fascinating. I wish I could have been down there with you.
You should have come.
You start to open it, you see that the rope that's been tied around it has been tied in a very curious way, tied into some kind of rune.
Does that mean I can't open the knot, or is it a particularly difficult knot?
It looks tricky, but Alexander and all that, you could cut it. It's just rope.
No. I seeing a puzzle in front of me, I must puzzle it through. And knot theory is a branch of mathematics. So can I use study to try to open this?
Yes, you can.
When is theory not theory?
Sterling, did you grab one of those galaxies while you were coming up?
Another 6. Coming up today.
Uh,
About effects and stuff.
This is a knot of holding, as in a magical knot of holding, not just a knot that holds something.
So a knife probably wouldn't do anything to it anyway.
No, it's a physical thing, like candles around a ritual site. They can be disturbed. It's just once they're disturbed.
Burn the sack.
So whatever is in the sack is gonna come out.
Can we cut through the sack?
It looks like Hessian, just a sack.
Let's wait till we're back in the library to open this little...
Let's cut through the sack.
Hang on, Sterling. We don't want to unleash whatever it is right here.
What I want to do before we go is I want to explain you, Francis, what happened down there, so that we can understand, if we have actually solved the situation or not. And so basically, I am going to tell you everything. So I'm going to tell all the things that we've seen and happened. And I also said, oh my God, I would have grabbed one of those galaxies eventually. Maybe we could brew them into some, I don't know, unluck bringing kind of device. Which
you may have destroyed an entire civilization had you taken the galaxies.
But if it brings unluck to my plane mates, so it's fine. Like would have been cool, I suppose. I'm almost tempted to go back there and grab one just for the sake.
I thought you said you'd never go back and look again.
Yes, you've changed your mind quite quickly. I think.
Can you imagine that bringing unluck to the others? Oh, it would be great.
That would be pretty great. Maybe another time.
Is the lady grateful that we've killed the giant eel?
Of course she's grateful. This creature of unluck, and of course you will be paid. The spirit wardens come and go, taking the body. While they're down there, you hear them stomping around upstairs. They leave, and excellent work. You must have been successful.
Has your luck already turned?
Says indeed, we have our shares, which we did not have time to sell, have now rebounded and are worth double what they were before. She says, great news. And she waves the newspaper that she's got this news from.
Fantastic. Splendiferous, in fact.
You, for a second, you think, but that must have happened ages ago. How did that? Oh, well. You are, yeah, okay, Sterling. You are given some monies. Over the next few days, you are given 8 coin.
Wow.
Don't tell me that.
Don't forget, you have to spend a coin.
Remember, Prince, you owe me a coin.